next thing we want to talk about is Loki. Loki just happened. The 6 episode extravaganza. We talked about episodes 1, 2, and 3, so the first half of the season. Which is funny because episode 4 ended up being my favorite episode, and I wanted to go talk about it with someone immediately, and we never recorded since then. And then 5 and 6 happened. So
well, now is your turn, sir.
So episode 4 was the one, after the whole after it looked like Lamentus was gonna blow up, and then Loki and Sylvie have their hand-holding moment that causes the TV to be like, what the hell's going on, right? Because a Loki kissing another Loki, like what kind of narcissistic chaos is this? So obviously they find them, bring them back, and then I thought every conversation in episode 4 was so well done. Loki talking about Mobius being a liar because he lies to himself, and Loki being stuck in that thing where Sif keeps coming and telling him that he will die alone and yada yada. That was so well done.
Hit him in the nuts.
Yeah. Sylvie, the B-15 helping Sylvie escape, said, Sylvie can tell her about the fact that she's a variant. So many things happened in that episode. And then Mobius got pruned, and we're all like, oh my God, like, really? You're just going to take out all the Wilson like that? Great episode. We found out that the timekeepers were androids, and then Loki got pruned. So that was episode 4. Really.
That's when I knew that pruning didn't lead to death.
Well, so when it happened, I was like shocked, but I was like, there could be a way back from this. But then I also thought maybe Disney really is, being this risky and like shifting the show over to Sylvie.
Because it is, she's still a Loki, so
she's a Loki, and the show's called Loki. But thankfully, Disney was like, we're not going to make you wait a whole week. We'll show you in the end credits. Loki's still alive, and we still have the other Lokis.
All the Lokis.
Yeah. So episode 5 was in the Void, which is where you get sent to, where you get pruned. Renslayer is looking like she's trying to make a deal with Sylvie, but really she's just being duplicitous as usual. Sylvie prunes herself to get to where Loki is because it's true love. Loki had that scene with all the other Lokis that come in, trying to steal the throne or whatever. And to be honest, I was kind of disappointed by that. We'd seen a lot of President Loki in the previews of the show, and he was just kind of like a gimmick. He got his hand bitten off, and then they all started fighting amongst themselves. And Loki had this look of himself like, man, like I'm really a mess. All versions of him just fighting over, who wants to be on the throne, just trying to screw each other over. The only Loki other than the real one that we've been following that was above all that is classic Loki, because he's lived longer, he's seen all this stuff. He survived the Thanos killing him by using a double of himself, and he went and hid away. And it was only after, I think he said hundreds of years or whatever, years, regardless of a long time. It was only after a long time that he started missing his family. He missed Thor, even said. Yeah. And he wanted to go back. And then the timekeepers are like, no. You're either supposed to be dead or supposed to be gone from the picture. So that's when they took him to the void. So he's had time to contemplate on himself and why he's this way. And so that's why he's a lot less, wacky than the other Lokis. So yeah.
I think that they've missed out on a very deep story that could involve a lot of pain, a lot of drama, which is the crocodile Loki. I think they could dive deep into that. I'm gonna tell you right now, I've been looking for a stuffed animal, which I think they probably did that on purpose for the alligator Loki. Just is it an alligator or a crocodile?
It's I don't know. I like alligator.
Okay,
alligator. So look, I think there's gonna be a lot of merchandising from this show. The different types of Lokis. I mean, Funko Pops and all that. So you're gonna get your alligator.
Now, have you noticed Kid Loki?
Yeah.
Escaped, and they're saying that might have to do with the fact that Kid Loki might be part of the Young Avengers later on. Yeah,
possible,
so because remember,
okay.
they don't always do everything. They don't. There's a lot of things that they do to save for later.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of intertwining in these shows and movies now. So, but yeah, I think I read somewhere that Kid Loki might be in the Young Avengers.
Okay. All right.
And the kid was a good actor too.
Yeah, it's all right. I prefer classic Loki. I thought he was really good.
Yeah, but he can't be a Young Avenger. He's classic.
Okay, fine. So, so Sylvie and Loki meet up. Loki's like, I want to kill Elias. Elias is a big smoke monster. And Sylvie's like, no, that's a stupid idea. We're gonna enchant Elias. So they go in there to try to enchant Elias, and classic Loki gives the assist. He's very like regal. His costume looks stupid, but it's classic Loki, right?
It's classic Loki.
And he's like, you shall not pass. He didn't say that, but he creates the whole like Asgard, and it's so beautiful because we created Asgard from memory, because he hasn't been able to go back because he's been stuck forever. And then when he finally wanted to go back, the time keepers took him away. So he was like, in my death, I'm gonna create this Asgard. I'm gonna use this to protect Loki and Sylvie. And he did it, and then he got killed. Loki and Sylvie were able to enchant, and then go through. And that was the end of episode 5. Oh, Mobius went back to the TV. He's alive. So that was the end of episode 5. Get to episode 6, and Miss Minutes is the bad guy, except she's not. She's just a helper. They go through and they see Jonathan Majors as He Who Remains. Now, people who've been keeping up with Marvel knows that Jonathan Majors was just cast a short time ago, as Kang the Conqueror. So everyone's like, Kang the Conqueror? What's he doing here? No, Kang the Conqueror is a variant of He Who Remains.
Yeah, I was gonna say the variant. So,
and he was very flamboyant and jumpy, and I think part of it is he's been alone for a long time, just like classic Loki. You go crazy when you're alone for a while. Do. So he real scene stealer, sorry, and that was an exposition heavy episode. We learned a lot from a lot of the meeting and dialogue between them. And then Renslayer is going to go find something somewhere. So before I go on to finish the episodes, what were your thoughts on Majors, the reveals in episode 6, everything I've talked about up to now?
So the entire series?
Sure. Yeah. The second half of the series.
So episode 4, you said was your favorite?
Yeah.
Yes, I liked episode 4 because I think it was episode 3. Both you and I were like, right?
Yeah, that's the one on Momentous.
Yeah, that one we were like, but episode, except for the end part, which is where they fought, which is really cool. But yeah, episode 4 was really good. I did like it. I really liked episode 5, but episode 6, the season finale, like you said, Majors killed. Like, we're gonna talk about the Emmys next. Since I think Loki doesn't fall into the Emmy calendar for this year, they fall into it for next year.
It ends May 31st. So, and I think Loki started after that. I think Loki started in June. So that's why.
I think it started in May, but I think you have to release, like, the show has to be released.
No. It started June 9th. No, you might be right. Remember, when did Loki end?
Loki ended July. You might be right. Actually, you're right. You're right. Episode 1 was effective. Started June 9th. You're right. So yeah. Unless there's a bunch of other great guest spots, because this was a guest spot, right? He definitely deserves to be nominated for best guest actor, which we'll be talking about in a couple of minutes. He was really he really did steal the show. I think he did a great job. I think the thing I liked about it was him being put in there, even though he stole the show. His scenes made Loki and Sylvie made their characters even better, just because of their different reactions to it, just to the way they both acted. Where the chemistry between all three of them was really phenomenal. Yeah. From Sylvie just kept trying to kill him. Loki was like, hold on, we need to give him a chance, or like better the devil. Basically, he was like, better the devil you know than the devil you don't, right? And I really love the three of them in that end scene. It was just great, top notch acting from all three of them. Like it was a great scene. It was a great scene.
We're going to be talking about Jonathan Majors more later on because he is one of the nominees in the Emmys. So, yeah, you're right. Great acting masterclass. I actually forgot one thing about episode 6. The opening, because the opening of every episode does the MCU thingy. But this time around, they decided they're going to use different quotes from the MCU. And I was like hearing it as I was listening. I was like, man, what's going on? And
I was like, yeah, I thought they had changed the. I was like, I guess they updated it. I guess they want this to be the new way.
And I don't know. I got a little teary eyed when Vision said the thing about what is grief?
What is love?
No. What is something if not love persevering?
Yeah.
What is the thing?
Let's go with that.
No, it's not love persevering. But what's the first part of it?
I don't know. I don't remember. But
it's an iconic line from WandaVision. Anyway, so when he said that, I'm like, damn, that line still hits. Anyway, so that happened at the beginning, and then so we get to this part where they meet He Who Remains, telling him about all that stuff, and so then they have the choice. They can either take over his job of like making sure the timeline stays steady, or they can do what Sylvie wants to do, which is kill him and let things go to chaos. Well, Sylvie can't stop herself, so they have the little fight. It was a good fight. The fight choreography in the show hasn't been that great anyway, but it was a good fight. They actually used their magic powers this time, and they have their kiss finally, and then she like pushes him into the TVA and kills He Who Remains, and everything just goes to.
He died like a boss, though.
He died like he smiled. He said, "See you soon," and he winks at her.
A little winky wink, and then he died.
Yeah.
And then she realized, you could see she had an oh shit moment because she was just she seemed a little bit confused. And then the fact that end scene. So anything else to talk about before we talk about the very last scene of the episode?
No, go ahead. Go for it.
Okay, so I'm over here thinking, I was like, because they were literally, because the way they made it seem is they made it seem like nothing was afoot before, because what's the name of the
B-15 and Mobius.
B-15 and Morbius. They were just talking, and it made sense within the episode the way they were talking, and then because they're seeing the timelines,
splitting
out, and branches, you just see them branches. Yeah, you see them looking, and then Loki comes over there and is like, guys, what are we going to do? He breaks down what just happened. And then Morbius is like, who the hell are you?
Yeah, like,
where are you from?
Like, slow down. You're obviously an analyst. What division are you in? And Loki's like, what? And then he turns, and there's like Planet of the Apes. You're like,
yeah.
It's,
that's exactly the first thing that I thought about. I was like, oh, it's like Planet of the Apes. But I was thinking of the Mark Wahlberg one where instead of Abraham Lincoln, it was an ape.
Yeah. So he turns, he sees, and it's He Who Remains, or at least a variant of him. We're assuming Kang the Conqueror. So this one obviously leads into other Marvel movies, which Kevin Feige is a damn lie. He said you can skip the shows and still be fine. No, you can't. Not this. But then he kind of clarified and said, well, I kind of meant WandaVision. You can skip WandaVision. You can't skip Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You can't skip Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You can't skip this.
And I don't think you can really skip WandaVision because people are gonna be like, wait, when did Monica get all grown up? When did when did she become the Scarlet Witch? I don't think you can skip them. But I think Kevin Feige was just like basically he was saying, go ahead and skip them at your own peril.
Yeah. See what will happen to you. So okay. well, so Loki's finished, but we got a little teaser at the end saying Loki will return for season 2, which we're all really happy to see. It's been a good show. It's not my favorite of the MCU shows so far. I would say the one I enjoyed watching the most was Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I would say the one that is most high art, or the most well thought out from like a writing perspective, I think is WandaVision. But I think Loki is like really up there with the other two. Yeah.
It's top 3. You're saying it's top 3?
I'm saying it's top 3. Yeah. no, Loki was actually really good. There were parts of it that I was like, all right, man, like.
But if you think about it, there's been a few. Even WandaVision had one of those. Like it was just kind of like, all right, let's speed it up or something like that. Because the funny thing I have with the people is like, critics is like they'll say like the pacing. I was like, oh, it's too little episodes, and the pacing, they pace it too fast. It's like, yeah, but they can only do so much. Like, so they have to have some filler. They will have some parts that will kind of drop off. But if you're looking at it as a whole, overall, they do a great job.
Well, I will say with WandaVision, to be honest, there were only 2 episodes that I can say I felt was subpar.
Out of 10?
Episode 3,
I'm saying out of 10.
Oh, out of 10.
So 2 out of 10, it's still like a good 20%. Same thing with this. With Loki, it was like a few scenes or whatever like that were really kind of like.
There were 9 episodes of WandaVision. That's why I wasn't sure what you meant when you said that.
Oh my bad. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so episode 3, I remember not really being fond of it until the very end, where Monica was like, "Oh, your brother. I remember your brother. He was killed by Ultron," and then that's But prior to that, I thought the episode was kind of weak. That's the one where she was pregnant. And then the finale, I thought was kind of subpar.
We talked about it, how it's like everything was just gonna all of a sudden happen, Yeah,
the finale was it had some really good dialogue between her and Vision. I think her and Vision were the best parts of the show for sure.
And Vision.
Huh?
And Vision. The Vision dialogue was really good.
Good conversation. But episode 8, the second to last, was amazing. Amazing episode. So we're gonna get into WandaVision pretty soon anyway. But so that's all Loki talk, right? Pretty good.
Yeah, well, no. I will say with Loki, Tom Hiddleston though is just so good as Loki that he could be in a, like, the whole thing around him could be crap, but he's still going to be good.
Yeah.
So I would say out of the 3 shows, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is still my favorite. I would actually put Loki second. And WandaVision third. Only reason I would put Loki second is because the character of Loki is he's just such a badass. He's just a great character. Especially if you think about it. Because you kind of had the feeling in the movies that Loki had run his course.
I thought so. I thought he had.
I thought he had too. But then the way they brought him back, and they're like, all right, look, he's not the same guy, but he's still going to be that. He's still that same guy. He's still the same guy that ended up being at the end of Thor Ragnarok. It's just he just had a different way to get there.
That's a strange thing, though. Like, he feels like a much more mature character than when we first saw him in the first Thor.
Because you got to think, he outlived the death of his mom, his brother.
No, exactly. He seemed like a much more mature character, but this Loki is from right after the Avengers. This Loki didn't go through all that stuff. He saw a video of it, but he didn't go through all that stuff. So I thought about that myself, and I remembered, though, I was like, one, he had seen his mom die. One, he had seen himself die. So he realized, he's always talking about, I'm a god, right? Remember freaking Hulk, puny god. He realized when he saw his own death, and then he also realized that the Infinity Stones within the TVA were paperweights. Right.
He realized what he thought was power, how powerful he thought he was. He realized oh no, I'm just another spoke on the wheel. So that I think really brought him down and really humbled him. And that's the reason why he's so much humbler, because he realized I'm not as bad. He still wants to be, but I'm not as great as I thought it was.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so, good points. All right.
So ratings overall.
I'll give the season 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10? Yeah. Right, I'll stick with 8. I'll go with 8 out of 10 with you, Tim.
I think the second half really brought it up.
It did.
Yeah. Okay.